What are people eating if they don't cook from scratch? Edit: I didn't mean for this to come off as out of touch. I cook using pre-made ingredients due to having very little money and limited grocery access. The folks I was comparing myself to DoorDash every meal or eat out nearly every day. That was more my question. I'm just dumb and bad at explaining myself. Edit 2: I changed some wording and want to add more clarification. I get random basic ingredients from the Dollar Tree and the food banks. I have to whip up meals using whatever I can find what they give me. A pre-made pasta, mayo, dried grated Parmesan cheese, and hot sauce make a weird but not bad dinner. That's more what I meant. I felt like I was losing my mind trying to figure out meals while the people around me were DoorDashing everything, eating out. I needed to know that what I was doing was normal and not weird or bad. I'm so sorry I wasn't clear. In my original post, I genuinely considered what I did to be from scratch. Hi there. I frequently see folks talking about how no one cooks from home anymore or save money by eating at home. My grandmother and my mom always cooked everything at home from basic ingredients. And now as an adult, I do too. I cook nearly everything from just basic ingredients. We very rarely eat frozen meals and almost never do takeout, eat out. Do people not cook at home? What are they eating if they aren't cooking at home? Are people eating takeout all the time? I'm so confused, lol. Fast food meals, dining out, frozen dinners, prepared meals from the grocery store, grazing a handful of almonds, an apple, and some cheese 4-5 times throughout the day, etc. Markets near us have pre-made dinners and salads, shepherd's pie, baked ziti, Swedish meatballs, etc. They only need heating up and they're very good. I do make some things from scratch, but not as much as I used to. What are you considering from scratch? 'Cause when I make spaghetti I use the pre-made sauce and noodles. Making spaghetti from scratch would involve making the noodles themselves and the sauce. I would say people are either using shortcut stuff like pre-made sauces, bread and noodles while putting the actual meal together themselves, or they are using frozen stuff like pre-made lasagna or dumplings that you just have to cook. Frozen vegetables are also pretty popular. Everything from the aisles in the grocery store. Woman shrugging. A frequent lazy meal for me is pasta plus jarred sauce and frozen meatballs or sausage or something. All assembled at home, but definitely not made from scratch. I cook maybe 4 nights a week. The other 3 I'm either doing frozen pizza, lasagna, takeout, pre-made meals from the supermarket, or if there's extra food in the break room at work, I always try to bring a plate home. Takeout, frozen meals, pre-made prepackaged meals, instant meals, etc. Cooking at home doesn't always mean cooking from scratch using just basic ingredients. A lot of people are just boiling dry pasta and pouring some jarred sauce on it. A lot of people aren't even doing that. There are plenty of options. Kinda depends on what a person means by from scratch, too. I've seen Americans say from scratch and then use Rotel flavored canned tomatoes, canned cream of mushroom soup, etc., etc., etc. That for me is not from scratch. But it is cooking. There is tons of food you can eat without cooking from scratch. I personally prefer to cook from scratch as much as possible, but I don't find it at all surprising that not everyone does the same thing I do. Mostly has to do with time. If you work 8-10 hours 5 days a week, you generally don't want to spend your downtime cooking if you can avoid it. While working, I cook on the weekends and probably 2 other nights a week. Otherwise it's something from a container box that I can make quickly. Now when I get laid off I work seasonally. At the moment I will cook at least 6 days of the week, and splurge a little on Friday or Saturday night. Things like pre-made soups, frozen lasagna, pizzas, chicken fingers, quiches, hamburgers, etc. Jarred pasta sauce, bagged salads, rotisserie chickens, deli sandwiches, pre-made dips, hummus, tzatziki, ranch, salad dressings, etc. Taco kits, crackers, cookies, flavored yogurts, essentially anything that comes in a package. If you're being strict, store-bought bread is technically a pre-made food. I stopped cooking in 2020. My husband cooks. Monday cheeseburgers and fries. Tuesday tacos Wednesday steak and potatoes. Thursday something involving chicken. Friday pizza day. Always. Saturday FFY fend for yourself. Sunday mystery. I just flat out don't have time to make things like bread or pasta from scratch. Butter, tomato sauce, broth, or like 99 of the items outside the produce department could be made from scratch. But people have better ways to spend their time. Lots of frozen food options. I eat a lot of bread. I'm from Germany, so Abendbrot is totally acceptable. It's basically an elevated form of girl dinner, but sometimes for lunch as well. Bread, Brötchen or something similar with cheese and whatever else I have lying around. Maybe some carrots. Maybe a hard-boiled egg. Maybe a jar of olives. Sometimes salami. A lot of frozen stuff that you can add fresh ingredients to that makes it feel home-cooked from scratch but isn't. If you work full-time and are too tired to mise en place, then frozen works great. I usually get canned beans and sauces, but other than that my food comes from local farms. Ice cream comes from two nice guys named Ben Jerry. I buy pre-made spaghetti sauce and dry pasta, for instance. I don't have time to grow and can tomato sauce, grow and mill flour, raise chickens and mine for salt, plus travel the world for various spices. Cooking from scratch would be very exhausting. Taco Bell. For me personally, I do not enjoy cooking and I'm not particularly good at it. Most likely I do not enjoy it. I am currently using a food service that provides refrigerated meals, and that's my main at-home dining. Sometimes take out. Every now and then I'll make spaghetti using sauce from a jar. I'll season it and such. But I'm not making anything myself. It's time consuming and the payoff is blah. And then I have to clean it up too. In the end, the money comes out the same. A trip to the grocery store is $200 and my meals are $100 week. I know people who almost exclusively eat fast food or order out. They're always broke and begging for money at the end of the month. What do you mean by scratch is the question. If I brown sausage, boil pre-made pasta, use a jar of spaghetti sauce, and microwave a can of green beans, is that from scratch? I think so, because I have to assemble it. But some people would not. Right now eating grilled salmon, jasmine rice with cashew nuts and grilled vegetables, all frozen, from a organic brand. During the week, I just prepare every day a fresh salad. And for other meals, I eat fruit, yogurt, omelette, nuts, bone broth, homemade soup ou sandwich. So if you bake a cake, you never use a cake mix? That's cool, I guess. But at the end of the baking, either way, you have a cake. You make your own pasta? Again, very cool. And it is better than store-bought. You never buy frozen or canned fruits, veggies? I know many people do home canning. But it is time-consuming to garden and harvest and prep and cook and dry and preserve sometimes. It's just easier to grab a bag of frozen mixed berries at the store for your breakfast smoothie. But even homemade scratch meals can be frozen. No shame is using a freezer for its intended purpose. I started cooking from scratch every day after having my third baby in 2020. Before that it was mostly things from jars or the freezer. That was what I was used to, as I was brought up in a house that never had more than margarine, milk and the occasional block of cheese in the fridge. Didn't want that for my kids. So taught myself how to cook.